Today I'm going to be revealing 5 entry-level remote jobs that can pay 6 figures. And I'm not going to be talking about the common ones that people always talk about, like software engineering or jobs that require years of experience. Because look, I went from living in my car to making multiple 6 figures per month by understanding how the modern job market actually works. Not the typical stuff that you hear in the news or what universities want you to believe. And my success did not happen overnight. I had to try multiple career paths, from sales jobs at state fairs, to going 6 figures into student loan debt to get a pharmacy degree and become a pharmacist, to online jobs, to starting an online business. But before discovering what really worked, each step taught me something valuable about how real success happens in today's economy. And what I learned through all these experiences is that career success isn't about following a predetermined path. It's about adapting. It's about rolling with the punches. And this is really the reason that human beings are so much more successful than any other animal on the planet. It's because we adapt. When the conditions change, we change. So the important thing to do is to try different approaches until you find where your skills create maximum value. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you today. I'm going to give you several different options that you can look into. And all of these options are excellent. And the truth is, companies care about results, not degrees. Now, I've helped hundreds of clients transform their income by using these principles, by finding the opportunities in the economy. And these are going to be remote careers that you can start now with minimal experience, and they have a legitimate path to 6 figures. So I'm going to walk you through 5 entry-level remote jobs where you can reach 6 figures within 2 to 3 years if you apply the right strategy. So this is starting from absolute zero. You don't have to get a college degree. You don't have to have previous experience, but in some cases you might need to get a certification or build a portfolio, but nothing compared to a 4-year degree. First is a Salesforce administrator. Now, when I was struggling financially, I discovered that the most valuable skills are the ones that directly impact a company's bottom line. Now, in my case, I worked for a company and I helped them sell eyeglass cleaner at state fairs, boat shows, gun shows, etc. And I got a percentage of all of the sales. This was a long time ago when I was a teenager. And back then, remote jobs were basically unheard of. But now remote jobs are everywhere. And Salesforce is the world's leading customer relationship management platform. And it's how many of the top companies in the world track sales, manage customer data, and close deals. And without it, sales teams can't function. And here's why it's perfect. You can learn it for free through Salesforce Trailhead. And if you want to get certified, it costs about $200. Now, entry-level admins started around $65,000 to $75,000 a year remotely, and companies are desperate for Salesforce talent. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shane, how does this get to 6 figures? Well, when I analyze successful careers, I look for leverage points. For Salesforce admins, it's specialization. And after gaining 1 to 2 years of experience and adding advanced certifications like developer or consultant certs, your value absolutely skyrockets. And companies will pay you $100 to $120K per year to become a specialist, because poor Salesforce implementation means lost revenue. Just as an example, one of my clients went from certified to 6 figures in just 18 months by focusing on financial services, Salesforce customization. And let me tell you about someone who made this transition with 0 IT experience. He came from healthcare, specifically working in a lab, and felt stuck in his career. Then he got his Salesforce administrator certification and completed several super badges on Trailhead, which is Salesforce's free learning platform. And initially, he faced the same frustration that many of you will. Job postings asking for 3 to 5 years of experience. But here's what he did differently. He created his own experience. He spun up a Salesforce instance as a portfolio to showcase his skills. Plus, he documented projects that he completed. Then he started freelancing and started volunteering with nonprofits to gain real-world practice. And within months, he landed his first Salesforce position and completely changed his career trajectory. And he went from feeling stuck to having recruiters regularly reach out for opportunities. Now, to be fair, Salesforce is not the only CRM out there. HubSpot is another very popular one, so you could do the same thing with that. But becoming very familiar with software that is often used by large businesses can be your ticket to success. So yeah, any type of role like that is absolutely great. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. All right, next is digital marketing specialist. And this was one of my first side hustles and one of the first jobs that I got when I was working in pharmacy. You see, I felt stuck in my pharmacy career. It was really good money, but I didn't enjoy it and I was burned out. And so what did I do? I started learning digital marketing skills and I started making money online. And unlike traditional marketing, digital marketing is measurable. Companies can see exactly how much revenue your work generates, which means they're willing to pay for results. results. Now let me share a real story that proves that this works. I got to interview Keyshawn on my channel, and after high school he had no direction and was working at a Chick-fil-A. And like many of you, he was fascinated by people making money online, but he didn't know where to start. So instead of going to college, he started learning digital marketing foundations. And particularly, he focused on Google Ads. And he landed an internship which led to a $50K job. But he didn't start there. After getting experience managing campaigns where companies spend between $50 to $70K on ads, he leveraged that expertise to land a $70,000 role in e-commerce at just 20 years old. And as Keyshawn told me,
most businesses fail because they just don't have any foundation to go off of.
So you really need a skill, and that skill can be digital marketing. And before any of his friends had even graduated from college, he was already making $100,000 a year. Now there's some free training, which I'm gonna leave down below. It's about an hour or two worth of training, and that's with the same company that was able to help Keyshawn land a job. So you can check that out. I'll put it down in the description and the pinned comment below. And entry-level jobs typically start off between $40,000 and $60,000 a year, but the six-figure career path comes down the line. And I've seen a lot of people reach $100,000+ a year within 2 years by focusing on things like pay-per-click or conversion optimization. Why? Because if you can spend $1 and make a company $5, they will gladly pay you 6 figures a year. Now there are a lot of different digital marketing specialties. Pay-per-click's a good one. SEO is another good one. Email marketing's great. There's a lot of jobs popping up in social media, but really there's just so many opportunities. You just want to figure out which one you like the most and specialize in it. So yeah, digital marketing, 9 out of 10, love it. All right, the next job is going to be YouTube related. And basically this is where you start off by working for a YouTuber. Now you could work in several different positions just starting out. It could be YouTube scriptwriter, YouTube video editor, but what you want to do is move into more of a creative director type role or hyper specialize and work for a big YouTuber. Now the reason this one is so easy to break into is because it's not really an established industry. And there's very few people out there that actually have extensive experience in YouTube scriptwriting, for instance. And so if you're the type of person who's watched a lot of YouTube in your life, because of the fact that you've watched so much YouTube, you are likely uniquely qualified already to help YouTubers make better content. And this is one that you could work as a full-time job, or you could make money freelancing. And as someone who's built several 7-figure businesses on YouTube, I can tell you that content is what separates successful channels from failures. And making good content is the foundation. So if you can work for a YouTuber and basically save them as much time as possible and help them make better content, you are going to be invaluable to them. And a few years down the line, especially if the YouTuber grows, you can make it to a 6-figure a year position. Now, you might also be interested in just starting your own YouTube channel. And I was able to get this channel to 6 figures a year in less than a year. And then my second YouTube channel that I started, I was able to get that one to 6 figures a year in less than a month. So whether you want to work for a YouTuber or you want to start your own channel, I'm going to put some super valuable resources that will basically be like a crash course guide on how to do this down in the description and the pinned comment below. And additionally, I send incredibly valuable emails out where I reveal all of the industry secrets in my newsletter. So definitely check that out. So yeah, this one is a 10 out of 10. Love it. All right, next is a virtual bookkeeper. Now, this is a type of accountant. You're basically going to be balancing the books. But the funny thing is you don't actually have to have an accounting degree. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. So if you're the type of person who likes to organize things and likes to keep track of things, for instance, if you like budgeting yourself, this could be a perfect position for you. And you can work for one business, or you could even work for multiple businesses at once. Now to get started with this one, get some experience with a software like QuickBooks. And entry-level bookkeepers typically make about $20 to $25 an hour or $40,000 to $50,000 a year annually. And my friend went from basic bookkeeping to $8,000 to $10,000 a month by serving law firms exclusively. So a lot of the time, it's a good idea to specialize. And the real power move? Add financial analysis to your services, because when you can help businesses understand their numbers and improve profitability, you become invaluable. And it all starts just by becoming a bookkeeper. And this one is wide open. There is a massive amount of demand for bookkeepers, and you can make decent money right off the bat and then make it to 6 figures a few years down the line. And job number 5 is data analyst. Now this one is pretty straightforward. You analyze data for companies. And let me share the story of Austin, who transformed his life as a data analyst. Before 2020, he was living in Seattle in a tiny apartment with roommates, paying $850 a month. And he felt really stuck in his career, and he basically spent his evenings just playing video games and eating Chipotle burritos. Then he landed a remote data analyst position. And the game changer, he convinced his manager that he could do the job from anywhere in the world. And today, Austin works as a digital nomad, traveling across countries like Mexico and Indonesia. And he's earning a US salary, so his money goes like 5 times further. And his data skills literally bought him freedom. And he's not alone. I've seen countless people leverage data analysis skills into lifestyle freedom. And the entry-level requirements here are SQL skills. You can learn these for free on a place like Code Academy. Excel or Google Sheet expertise. There's lots of free resources online where you can learn this. Basic data visualization skills. For instance, Tableau Public is free, and a portfolio of data projects. Now, entry-level remote analysts usually start around $60,000 to $70,000 a year, but specialists who can turn data into business recommendations can reach $100,000 to $130,000 a year within 2 to 3 years. And my best advice for how to start off with this is to get the Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate. Now, I believe the first 7 days is free, and then after that, it costs around $40 to $50 a month. And you can finish the certificate within a month or two. So it's incredibly cheap and it's super valuable. There's been countless people that have reviewed this online. So many people have been able to land a job with this, and I highly recommend it. So check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below. Now, one thing you can do to really make yourself valuable is specialize in a field. Healthcare data analysts, for example, command premium rates because they understand both healthcare operations and data analysis. And you can specialize even further and become a nurse informatics data analyst. And that's where specifically you are specialized in nursing data. And this is happening in just about every industry and just about every career path out there. So data analysis is super valuable, and it can lead to incredibly high paying jobs down the line. Now, if you enjoyed this video, check out the video on 10 repetitive but high paying remote jobs always hiring by clicking right here. And in this video, I cover even more opportunities that might be a perfect fit for your skills and lifestyle. And I'll see you there.